Welcome to Radio Fixer's channel. Subscribe for upcoming videos. I pulled this radio out of the BMW that I'm restoring. This is the original radio that it come with the car when I purchased the car. I'm planning to test and replace the capacitor since this is now over 50 years old, believe it or not. I remember when I had my first 50 subscriber, I told my wife, I said, guess what? I have 50 subscriber. She paused a little bit and said, how many people live around the world? I said, gee, I see. So folks, what you want to do, somewhere in the bottom there's a subscription button. Go ahead and select that, and also there's a bell. Select that bell so it notify you whenever I upload new video. Put your thumb up. What this does, it notify other people they enjoy this hobby. Go ahead and share it to other people. Help me if my subscription goes up, man. Make me look good. All right. I appreciate you. And check this online to see if I can find another one. And they want so much money for this radio. I could not believe what I saw for sale. I was in shock, so I'm going to try to fix this and put it back in the car since it was original. I had another radio. It has a tape player, but I want to go back to this one since it came with the car. This is how it look like. All original, and that's the brand name. So the model number is here, of course. So this is the other side underneath, and of course the back of the radio. All right. And my understanding here, you could add like a tape player to it. You see that a connection that you could add tape player. Believe you could put amplifier here. This was one of those very well made German radio. So this is where the antenna hook up. Anyway, this is how it looked like. Again, I was in shock when I saw on eBay how much people they're selling this for. It's pretty sophisticated for 1974 or so. This radio was installed in Porsche, my understanding, and also Mercedes-Benz for those years. That is why people want too much money for this. Made in Germany. So the way you take this apart, I start looking around and say, how am I going to take this apart? There is no screw here, just a few screws in the front. I don't want to mess around with that. You get a screwdriver, go from the back, very gently pull it off, and then push it back like that. It comes out. See, they supported with this. This goes over the here. See that? Like that. All right, let's check this out. Oh my gosh, man. Since this radio has FM, I believe AM, they call broadcast, LW, shortwave, it's packed with parts inside. See this little radio, look how much stuff is inside. Unbelievable. Okay, I guess the way you take this out, it seems like a clip here is holding it, and there's a clip here also holding it. See this? And this, you see that? I need to find out where they install all these capacitors. That's usually what the first thing you want to do. You want to test all of them. And definitely for 50 years old radio, this is a transistor radio, of course. Those capacitors, definitely they're going bad. So I can press this clip back that board, you see, like that. And this is this way. You release that side, then release this side. See? This is going to pop up like that. Very interesting design. So let's check it out. Oh, it seems like all the capacitors are installed on this board, which is a good thing. There are capacitors over there underneath, but those are ceramic capacitors. Ceramic capacitor usually doesn't go bad, but the other one, gold one, There are 6 capacitors, 2 large and the other one is a small. Okay, yeah, that's what I see. There are 6 capacitors. So let me take them all one by one. I'm going to test them and replace them. Very unique. Look inside. You see this? How's somebody going to repair this? Man, I have no schematic for this. I don't even see where transistors are. I'm sure there's some. Yeah, I see some of them. Some they're right here. They're right here, a couple of them. I think those are transistors. I need to look at it on the magnifying glass. So let me start taking one capacitor out at a time. Again, do not take all of them at the same time. Believe me, you're going to mess it up if you take all of them out. And then you want to make sure you know which side of capacitor is a plus sign, which side is a negative sign, minus sign, because that's the way you want to install it. Alright? Let me work on that. Alright, meanwhile that is heating up, the soldering iron, I'm going to look at under this PC board to see where the capacitor is hooked up, and I'm going to mark them. It seems like this is, I'm going to mark it so I know which one there. This is one here, the connection. Yeah, the other one is right here. So if I remove these 2 solder, electrolytic capacitors are going to come out. Again, it has 6 electrolytic capacitors. They all need to be removed, tested, and replaced. I need to buy something better than this, but this is at least is easier to remove solder for PC board and then other way. They make better product than this. So I'm going to press this down like that. Of course, by pressing this, it's going to suck the solder out. Alright, finally this came out. It has a plus sign is up here. Of course, minus sign is a ground. See, it's right here. This first capacitor I see that is marked this way. And this shows about 1500 microfarad. That's a 1500 microfarad, and it is a 16 volts. See, 16 volts. So let's test it to see how bad this is. So negative goes here and positive goes here, or plus. Let's check it out. You see, it's very, very off. That's why, folks, you have to change capacitors. It is 2135. I'm going to key this 1500 microfarad to see what's the max and what's the minimum and maximum in this capacitor. And this is software that I designed to make my job easier to calculate all this, capacitor, resistors. Hopefully pretty soon going to be available. So let's key those information here under capacitor tolerance. Okay, we're going to use electrolytic capacitor, and here's 1500, and of course is a UF, is microfarad, and the tolerance I'm going to select 20% since it's an older capacitor. They were about 20% or so. Here the calculation shows me for 1.5K, which is 1500 microfarad. The minimum capacitor can be 1.2K, the maximum 1.8K. So as you see, this capacitor was much higher than 1.8. So let's replace it. This is again for a quick calculation. Instead I use the calculator, create this to make my job simpler. Since those parts are so small, I'm zooming with my phone in each capacitor to see what's the value on each capacitor. You see, I can actually enlarge it and check to see what's going on with each of them. And then I document everything here on the paper so I know what I need. Up to now, There's 1000 microfarad, 1500 microfarad, 220, this is a fuse, 10, 10, 100 microfarad. I'm trying to find out these two. I think they're 220. I need to double check. That's why I'm using my phone to take a picture to make sure I have a correct reading so I can order those type of capacitor. I don't know if I have this type of capacitor, so I have to order them. Let me figure those two other capacitor. That's the best way to do, because this thing is so small, it's so hard to see inside. Or even I have my magnifying glass here, but the still phone will do a much better job. Hopefully this trick gonna help you. Alright, I received all these capacitors that I need from this company here. I had a few of them, but not all of them. So I ordered this. I'm going to now install all the capacitors. As you see, I already replaced 3 of them right here. They're all German made. They're pretty unique capacitors. So I'm going to replace all of them. So the best way really to do this, I tried a different method. And my desoldering iron, it didn't work pretty well. I'm using this solder wick, so I add some of this flux on this. Without putting the paste, it's pretty difficult. I tried it without this and I had a hard time. But if I just add some of this to solder wick, it will work. So let's do that. Let's add some of this here. Of course, it's very important before you take any capacitors, you want to make sure where the positive goes, where the negative goes. You don't want to reverse those. If you install them, reverse them, they're going to explode. Replacing this capacitor here is a little difficult. You cannot pull this all the way up because there's a bunch of wires soldered here and they're going to come off. I already messed up one of them, which I need to resolder it. So you just pull it up like this, like that. Then you're able to remove them. I think positive is this side, negative is other side. And you're going to take a picture to make sure that place it correctly. So to take a picture, of course, I enlarge it. The positive right is in the front, right here, and the negative is in the back. That's pretty important to install it correctly. All right, let's remove that. So again, I'm going to add some of solder flux, just a little bit to here. And I already marked them. One of them is here. Another post is right here. To replace that 10 microfarad capacitor. Okay, that's removed. All right, all the solder came out. Now let me take the capacitor out. Definitely you need a magnifying glass to be able to do this job. All right, it is out. Let's measure it to see how bad it is. And this is supposed to be 10 microfarad. As you see, it's almost 16. It's over 15 microfarad. They're all over the value, so that's why I'm replacing them. See, there's the new one. That's a 10 microfarad. It's almost 11. But it still is going to be in range, so we're going to replace it with this. So I'm going to cut some of this off. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing that. Alright, now I'm going to measure it from here to see how far this should be apart. See, that's perfect for those holes. The negative goes right here. I'm going to put this piece in so I can see where the hole is from the bottom. I wish I could show you because I have to fit it this way. So I see where the hole is. Okay, as you see it, both of them came out. I'm going to bend them a little bit. Okay, let's solder the next post. Alright. I'm going to cut off the extra wire that is out. I'm going to use the same procedures to replace all others. Alright, all the capacitor was removed. This thing of course put back together. As I mentioned, one of the wires when I was taking the capacitors off, it broke off, so I had to put that one back together. Everything is soldered, is done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the alcohol, rubbing alcohol, to clean all the solder area so down the road I don't have any rust problem. Then I will check it under magnifying glass one more time, make sure all the solders are okay. I'm going to pour some here. Since the cottons want to get dirty, I don't want to put it back in there. Alright, I hook everything up. It's hooked up to the power supplier here, 12 volts. And this original speaker, original radio. Let's see about 50 years old car, after replacing all the capacitor, is going to work or not. Of course, as you know, this is a transistor radio. Let's see how it sounds, alright? It's working, huh? I'm going to change the channel quickly so YouTube doesn't kick me out. See how that changed? Bunch of the noise you hear in the background is because of fluorescent lights are on.
A former third-round pick for Baltimore. Devin is a Pro Bowl return specialist.
I need to put a better speaker. That's the original speaker. It came with the car. With, again, an original radio. So with this you can adjust how it sound.
WBOJ 5070 Fernandina Beach, Florida. W225DA 92.9 FM Stockade, Florida.
I'm definitely gonna install another speaker so it sounds better. The speaker is pretty old, but the most important is coming up. When I purchased this car, this radio was part of that car. After a while I changed it and installed the one that came with the cassette player. When cassette player when it became popular, I replaced this with one of the cassette player. I am planning to add a Bluetooth to this radio, so stay tuned for upcoming video. I'll be honest with you, it takes so much time to make these videos, editing, uploading, and make sure there's enough information that it actually makes sense, if you want to follow. At this time, I want to take the opportunity and thank my subscribers with their uplifting comment. You always encourage me to upload more videos, since this is just a hobby of mine. Again, I appreciate you, enjoy all these videos, and you all have an awesome day. Take care. If you're interested to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and you will be notified when a new video being uploaded. You have a great day.